In picks and bans now, guys.
We are in picks and bans. Salted Yams is starting on the blue side first. VK Gaming on the red. Again, for everyone in the chat, this is going to be a best out of 3. Let's see if they take it all the way. Interesting fact, we have not yet had a game go to the third.
We have had one this in playoffs. Bear Force 5 versus UQ.
They did. The trolling a little bit too strong on that Bear Force 5 squad. But as we were talking about, VK does ban Yasuo
And
as
Lucian.
well as Lucian. So targeted bans on Yamar and Phoenix.
And they pick away the Thresh from Katao, so both sides doing a little bit of research, kind of know what to expect from the other team. Tristana is actually a very good pickup for Utmost Baylife as well. Second most played in ranked, so a little bit of research done on both sides so far with the banning phase.
And as we see, both Lucian and Tristana, the highly contested ADCs, both banned out. So it will have to be... Hopefully no more... so yeah, it will have to be something different. And we will see who they pick up. Digger, though, locking in that Pantheon. I know firsthand you might still have some nightmares. Seeing how Digger plays that Pantheon, he does provide so much pressure on the map for the early game.
Yeah, he definitely, as I said, he is a comfortable player with that Pantheon. Interesting to see that Sivir pick. I haven't seen Sivir in a long time, but that spell shield on Thresh hooks could make the difference in lane.
Yeah. Rumble being hovered over for Damien in the top lane. He has been he has shown some really strong performances, and you know it is a known Maokai counter, but you know there is no top lane pick for VK yet, so it might be a little preemptive. Bane locked in for Phoenix, going on Salted Yams. How do you feel about that Sivir Vayne matchup? I know both of their auto attack ranges are pretty short.
Speaking, I said I'm not too much knowledge towards it. I have heard Samsung Imp talk about it in an interview before, that Sivir is actually a stronger laning champion than Vayne. So we can see maybe a slight advantage going towards Utmost Baylife in lane, but you can't discredit Vayne's late game. Once she gets a couple items under her and her silver bolts start doing massive damage, she can always turn the game around.
I can get behind that. Sivir does have those bouncing blades. Will be able to push that lane quite hard. You know, getting that early advantage level 2. During the laning phase, especially with that Janna support, she should be quite safe. But in a 1 vs 1 scenario, you have to give respect to Vayne's dueling potential.
Yes, you do. Vayne is the dueling AD carry. Just outstanding ability to make plays with her ult, pulling out invisibilities, and tumble and condemn, setting up her plays.
Okay, well, it might have been a little bit unfair asking you about some ADC matchups, but I did just want you, you know, to hear you chime in on that. Let's throw it to a lane that you are comfortable with. This Rumble Rise matchup in the top lane.
Rumble Rise. We've seen a ton of this, both these champions at Worlds. Rumble's a lane bully. He does a ton of burn damage if you let him just sit on that flamethrower on you. Rise has the ability to lock him down and run away. I'd actually still give the edge to the Rumble in lane and in team fights until Rise gets his items. Rumble's team fighting ability is amazing. He can completely change a fight with his ult, and that's what we're going to be looking for. If Rumble gets his equalizer down on the Sivir, blocking her out, she's so short range that might make it so she can't even get to the fight.
The only kind of concern that I have for that Rumble pick, that Rumble Rise matchup in the top lane is that if Damien ends up using his Flame Spitter to push that lane, Digger might capitalize on him having to play so far up, and we know what happens with Digger on that Pantheon. He is just a monster. So Damien does have to keep a track of maybe his warding, warding those tri bushes, making sure that he doesn't get flanked, and we'll just have to see.
Yeah, but it looks like we're all locked in. We got our team comp set up. How would you describe each team's winning conditions here?
Well, the thing is with let's start with Salted Yams first, okay? They do have that Orianna mid lane. It is going to be quite a bit of a farm fest for her. She is just basically waiting until team fights happen. If Yamar is able to basically get out of laning phase against that Isaac Syndra, it's not his job to make anything happen in the mid lane. If he does get a kill on Isaac, that puts Orianna so far ahead because it's Syndra is the one that's pressured to make something happen in that lane. Um, Along with the Thresh and the Jarvan, I feel like it's a lot of protect or peel away for the Vayne, and they're looking more for a late game comp. A late game 5v5 team fight, or they could also play it as a Vayne split push. A 1-3-1 split push with that Rumble in the top lane. They if Vayne gets big enough, they know that not one person can duel her or stop her. So they might want to pull VK down with that Vayne split push, draw them away, and secure an objective elsewhere. Over then for the VK side, they have a very engage. They don't necessarily have a hard engage, but they have should we stay or should we go kind of comp. They have the disengage from Janna if they need it, but they also have that I guess both an engage and a disengage from the Sivir ulti. That movement speed, along with Janna's passive movement speed, is a great way to either catch Salted Yams unaware or out-rotate them, just because they are simply moving faster than Salted Yams. So VK has some really good team fight potential, but I feel like it's more of coming down to getting a pick with Digger and Syndra. Digger stunning and then Syndra just blowing all her cooldowns on one person, making it, a 4 versus 5, and then they can secure an objective elsewhere. When it comes down to team fighting, though, I have to give it to Salted Yams.
I'm going to agree with you there. On VK's side, all single target. You got Pantheon, single target. You got Rise, single target. You got Syndra, single target. So it's going to be, if they can get that pick, though, whoever they pick's dead is basically what's going to come down to.
Yeah. I will not be surprised at all if I see Quicksilver Sash coming on Phoenix if it gets to that point in the game. Also, I do expect Jarvan to be building quite an early Locket. Just because of that
double. I hope to see that Aegis.
Yeah. Yeah. That's not to say though, Yamar has been known for some very godly shockwaves on that Orianna. And as we know, one shockwave can change the entire game. So if VK get picked out on their pick comp, it's going to be quite troublesome for them.
It's funny enough, besides the Vayne pick, I believe the entire comp on Salted Yams is the same one TSM used in lane in group stages. They kept going back to Oriana, Rumble, Jarvan, or yeah, like the Oriana Rumble being the key to that. You get a shockwave and put a Rumble ulti right on top. The fight's almost over before it starts there.
Yeah. If Salted Yams gets ahead in this laning phase where VK is supposed to win, um, it's gonna be very, very hard for VK to come back because it's that mid to late game power spike for SK or at Salted Yams SY, not SK, SY. Um, that they can force some early objectives, second or third dragon maybe, or even the first dragon if they wanted to team fight that. But it's gonna be up to Digger. He is on that more aggressive jungler other than Jarvan. Jarvan kind of wants to wait and farm up until 6. Pantheon with that early option on his stun. It's a no skill
Jarvan
shot.
still has the knockup, so it's gonna be interesting. I do feel a Syndra Pantheon beats an Oriana Jarvan early though in a 2v2 situation if they meet up gank pathwise.
No, I definitely agree with you. Also, Jarvan and Oriana having those skill shots, and it's not a guaranteed thing. Whereas Syndra and Pantheon kind of have a little bit more control on their CC. Um,
you have to switch your overlay. It's still on
no,
blacked out screen.
I know, but we are still loading, so it's all good.
Okay, I just noticed that on stream there.
Don't worry about it. Shh, it's all okay. But yes, there we are. We are finally in the rift. Just making sure to put everyone where they are meant to be. Bear with me a little bit. And that should be good. Any chances of an early invade here with these team comps? Salted Yams do have a Thresh. I think that their level 1 is quite a bit stronger.
I would say VK should avoid a level 1 more than anything. Sivir is not quite renowned for a level 1. Neither is the Pantheon, because if the Pantheon takes his stun, it does slow up his jungle clear quite a bit.
Oh, definitely. So for the supports, Janna opting out to go for that ancient coin, whereas Delacour on that Thresh going for that shield. Pretty standard. Janna wants more movement speed, so she will build that up. Yams just poking into VK's jungle, putting a deep ward onto the blue. But they should know that they won't be able to make anything happen. Janna is pretty safe with that tornado to disengage.
Yammer taking a lot of early poke.
He is, well...
They're just flexing their muscles a bit before laning phase starts.
It's good. Warming up those hands. Most definitely.
So they do see Pantheon starting at his blue. They ping that out. And I feel VK can kind of assume from what they've seen so far, Jarvan starting his red. So junglers both are going to be on the same side of the map throughout the jungle clear. Maybe meeting up at top or mid for an early gank.
Definitely agree. If Yamar continues to take that much poke from Syndra, as he did earlier there, it might just bait Digger to see what he can make happen when he reaches that level 3. Some poke coming down in the bot lane, some early wards going onto the bushes. Just making sure that they don't want to get caught unaware. But Masduck already taking down his blue. Digger stopping for the wolves.
That means Digger will hit level 3. Oh, great hook on the bot lane though. Digger will hit level 3. Jarvan's still level 2 for his first gank.
Yes. But Masduck does come to the top lane faster. Rune Prism coming down. The knockup does hit, forcing LeBron to flash. And Digger, a little late to that party. He is 1 level higher, but he will get caught out by that ward in try. Rumble should see this. Masduck a little bit low. Spell shield coming out from Civ to keep her quite safe. Teleport already burned from Lebon Jack. He did TP back. Damon getting caught out by that Rune Prism, but the harpoon slowing down Pantheon just enough. Digger isn't willing to back away though. He is taking so much damage from Damon's Rumble. The kite is real. Oh. Isaac getting chased up the river. Flash is burned.
That's first blood.
First blood on that Syndra, but will she live? No, Damien picks it up with a harpoon, turns it to face LeBron. He is overheated though. Digger is still here with double buffs. If he stays, he is hungry for that rise. Will he be able to get him? Oh, finishes it off with a flame spitter and harpoon. He is overheated again. Digger will be able to pick this up.
Okay.
An even 2v2 trade, some really big aggression happening in the
First blood did go over to VK, so they take a gold lead, and Pantheon gets a reset on double buffs.
He does, but again, we talked about that Rumble rise top lane, how Rumble is a bully to Rise early game until, Rise can ramp up. He does have that mana stacking phase that brings him a little bit weak. And that was 2 kills on that Rumble. That was huge.
2 kills on the Rumble, but BK get 3 members with a kill and assists, and only 1 member, or 2 members I should say, get the experience.
Yeah, so. Which does lead out to just a very, very slight gold advantage. But Mavduk is not stemming the aggression at all. Slow and knockup do land. Isaac able to just walk out of there. His flash is down from that trade in the river. Both teams quite even in CS, except, as I say that, Vayne taking quite a big CS advantage in that bot lane. I'm very surprised, actually. Sivir should feel very, very safe with that spell shield and the Janna bubble, but yet is playing a little bit scared against Phoenix. Lebon and Damien trading up in the top lane.
Rumble walking into the minions to fight that one out. Not the greatest idea. It takes a lot of damage from those casters.
Yeah. Mavduk in the bot lane, seeing if he can make something happen with a lane gank. Hook lands on Sivir, wasn't able to spell shield. Oh, flash burned by Baylife. And they should be safe. Baylife wanting to turn that around, but Kata Joe.
That was actually very well played by Thresh. He uses the flay to bait the spell shield out to land the hook.
Very well done on Delacour. Fortunately, not netting him anything. Again, Sivir very safe with that shield from Janna. Stun landing on Yamar. Isaac looking like he can hang with Yamar. Not
That being said,
intimidated
Yammer's
along.
going hammered.
Yeah, there it is. Both ultis burn for mids. Ignite's taken away from both of them. But they will be alright. Pots.
And Digger Pantheon early game making the plays. That's what I was wanting to see, is if he gets that Pantheon, what impact he can make.
Let's rewind that a little bit. I was a little bit busy. Equalizer doesn't really land on Liban Jack. He does overheat, and Digger is able to help Liban Jack net that kill. As we jump to live.
That's the tricky part about Rumble, managing your heat, because you don't want to overheat at the wrong time there.
Yeah, if I can criticize anything on Damien on that Rumble, is that we have seen him overheat at quite the wrong time, getting a little too eager with those harpoons, knocking him above the threshold and overheating. Isaac picking up the second blue buff.
And we just saw Jarvan actually took the second one for himself. So that lane pressure is going to keep mounting up for Syndra, hopefully, here.
This is true. A little bit of a sloppy play on Mavduck's part, or Maskduck's part, not Mavduck. He takes the blue and then recalls. It is burning a lot of time on that blue. It might just be a minute thing, but I definitely don't like to see that on junglers. If you know that your blue is safe and you're not afraid of getting counter jungled, leave that blue up, go heal, go buy, and then take your buffs, so that you have the full duration to make plays on the field.
I definitely have to agree with you on that one. It does wait. That you might think, oh, it's only about 30 seconds, but 30 seconds in a close game can mean a lot.
Yeah, Digger, getting pressured at his red, will be able to secure it for himself. Some deep wards going on the Salted Yam side, granting them the vision of that northern jungle. And it's looking like everyone is settling into that rhythm, wanting to get their farm on, finishing up those crucial first items. Some poke happening. Liban actually winning these trades up top now.
Yeah, it's
Man drop happening in the bot lane. Getting really aggro. The dive. Nice flash. Making the plays,
turned around.
She will pay for it with her life. It is going to be a 1-for-1 trade.
No, Thresh lived.
Oh, that is my mistake. I just expected him to die. Wow, definitely the plays coming out for Salted Yams. But VK, you see the practice is paying off. Their synergy and their team, their playmaking skills are there. Liban Jack was forced to flash. The dive happening in. Both ultis happening. Coming out of Damien and Maskduck, and they will pick up that kill, though it is a little bit delayed. And because of that, Salted Yams picking up the bot tower. Isaac is trying to answer in the mid lane with his own tower.
I actually watched back that dive bot lane. Pantheon backs out, leaving the kill for the Sivir, but Sivir gets stunned by a great Vayne Condemn, and which completely threw off the damage. So they want to leave that one for Sivir, ended up just leaving it out there and no one took it.
Definitely some miscommunication happening for VK. They might want to tighten up on the calls, make sure that they are communicating clearly with each other. Some aggression happening in the mid lane with Isaac. Does blow his ulti, but Yammer will survive thanks to Command Protect.
Yeah, and she even saved the heal. Burned the flash, but she saved the heal.
And Yamar does have that shockwave up still, so plays to be had in the mid lane. As I talk about plays, Delacour and Phoenix just taking out some of VK's vision in their own jungle. I definitely like the deep wards coming in from Assaulted Yams, but as I say that, Damien getting caught out. I think he should be able to get away. 1v1 duel happening between Sivir and the bot lane. Sivir and Vayne in the bot lane, mind you, excuse me. Just putting out some...
Pretty even in the trade there, even with Vayne having the Blade of the Rune King. But the lifesteal's gonna top it right back up.
Yeah. I definitely like the warding from Delacour on that Thresh. Because they are continuing, because they're not rotating towards mid, and as I say that, they are now rotating towards mid, but because they decided to stay for a couple more waves, I like the wards on the flank because, you know, because they're playing up so far ahead, they knew that a gank from Digger might happen, but as I say that, aggression happening in the top lane, Damien falling dangerously low, backing off as Assaulted Yams do pick up the first dragon of the game.
Yeah, he decided he wanted to stick around for one extra wave after that Pantheon game. And we're going right back into a team fight here.
But the hook lands on Digger from that Thresh. He will be caught out. Shockwave does finishing him off. Vayne dropping dangerously low because he was chasing the Janna. Does get cleaned up. Hooks landing on Sivir, so much damage happening, no focus for VK, and it ends up being a 1-for-2 trade? Yes, a 1-for-2 trade.
1 for 2 and a blue buff steal.
Again, that fight going Salted Yam's favor just because they did have the vision, something that VK did not have in their own jungles. Those deep wards definitely paying for themselves.
Yeah, very scattered team fight to say the least there. Both AD carries put themselves out of position to try to chase that kill. Vayne chases a kill on Janna, Sivir catches her out, but Sivir flashed in for that and gets caught out instantly by Orianna afterwards.
Great hook landing on Digger by Thresh, going all the way past 2 walls of the blue buff. Liban Jack holding his own up in the top lane now. He should feel quite safe up there. Able to trade with that Rumble.
Something I wanted to mention was Rumble starting Sork Boots after getting 2 kills. It's not something I personally don't really like as a start. If he had started either with the Haunting Guise, which is similar in gold cost, or started with that Negatron much earlier, Rumble's base damage is so high, he doesn't quite need that, especially if he had gone Negatron, he could have bullied out Rise a bit more early.
Well, they are rotating up. Hook and Shockwave land on Syndra and Janna. She does fall to that equalizer. They do pick up another kill. Great condemn by Phoenix on Digger. And VK is on full retreat right now. Yamar picking up that retreat kill on Katajau. He will sacrifice himself. Baylife trying to split push that bottom lane, trying to make something happen, but Massduck is absolutely destroying Baylife. And picks up the kill. 1v1. That can never be a good thing, when a jungler can 1v1 an ADC.
As well as he saves the tower. Let's set tower's life out right now. 2 more autos would have taken that tower. Yeah. So great zoning out by Jarvan there.
Yeah, great dive coming. As I say that, they do catch away Phoenix. Quite a bad positioning. They will answer with a kill on Digger though. Janna ulti having to be popped up. Liban teleports in, but just might teleport to die. Stun coming. They cannot fight this. They just need to make sure that they wave clear. Protect that turret as much as they can. VK falling quite a bit behind. Isaac getting caught by these hooks. Delacour with these god hooks. Making the place for his team.
Oh.
Rumble does fall thanks to Baylife, but he will be poked down. Mandrop coming from Digger will answer the kill on Orianna. SY, the Yams staying far too long with their aggression. They did drop low. They stayed long enough for Digger to die and respawn, coming back with that Mandrop.
Yeah, that was just overextending and overconfidence displayed by Salted Yams there. They kind of felt like they were starting to pull ahead in this game, which they were, but they forgot that Mandrop can just come in and change a fight around, especially with the overextension that they showed there.
That being said, I feel like VK is getting sucked into the Yams tempo of this game. Yams want to skirmish, they want to duel, they want to team fight. And VK is trying to answer that aggression with their own aggression, in which case they can't. Their team is just not built to team fight that way. They need to set up picks. Their vision, now that it's out there, you know, it only took 15 minutes for them to gain vision, but it's all defensive. Delacour has done a great job of denying their vision. You know, VK is putting out those wards, but as you see, Damien, Delacour just destroying their pinks. VK is warding, but they're not defending their wards.
Especially when running a pick comp the way VK is right now, Thresh is doing a great job countering all the picks with his wards in this game.
Yeah, VK not having that vision superiority, aren't able to pick out Yams at all, but that just shows also that Yams are playing very well. They're playing their style well. Look at them all grouped up now, trying to bait out that Baron. They know that they're stronger. Janna ulti coming out, trying to disengage, will be enough, and the aggression is halted for now. Damien getting caught out a little bit ballsy pathing. But wow, great Cataclysm coming from Jarvan, keeping everybody in that equalizer, and the shockwave hitting two people, netting Yamar a double kill on that Orianna. And again, it's just VK getting sucked into these team fights, taking the worst possible fight in the jungle, perfect for Cataclysm, perfect for Equalizer, and perfect for that Shockwave. All those AoEs, dropping them low, Vayne able to do damage in the backline, and then Yamar just finishes off with a ball.
And so we were talking about the bot lane. You can tell VK really does want to shut down that Vayne, but they're just leaving Yammer untouched in these fights, and he's putting in work, landing his shockwaves, landing his command dissonance, which can be a great amount of damage if you can get that on a couple members there. Actually maxing that W, the dissonance, first. So he's hitting pretty damn hard with his shockwave W combos.
Yeah. That being said, the farm for these teams are very even. Damien getting caught out though by Digger. Flash is being held. I think he will live. Oh man, Mandrop though will be enough to pick off Damien. He was pushed up just a little bit. Not really respecting the wards. He did have wards on his flank, but I guess that wasn't enough. Digger falling really low, getting caught out by Masduck. Great answer by Salted Yams, knowing that he did take a couple of those tower hits. A Phoenix going aggro on Baylife. He does have that Blade of the Rune King, and as we said earlier, Vayne's dueling potential. is just too strong.
Oh, great forcing the flash and heal there.
Uh,
Still fancies it though.
Yeah, Syndra does flash up there, does ulti in return, but not doing enough damage, getting hooked by Delacour, stopping her in her tracks, and Phoenix will be safe. Great pickup for him, showing that he can, he's at the point where he can duel Sivir, and this is what I was afraid of. If Salted Yams gets that Vayne to a point where she can just split push and VK doesn't have an answer, it's going to be very hard. I think the only person able to 1v1 that Vayne would probably be Libon Jack on that Rise, but as you can see his items, he prioritized MR. He has 0 armor, not opting to get Frozen Heart. Aggression is happening by the Baron Pit. A great box from Delacour, just stopping the whole VK squad in their tracks.
And Vayne is in the bot lane getting towers for his team.
Yes. Again, VK just does not have the answer. Yes, they could fight that 5 vs 4, but even with that 5 vs 4, the Thresh box helped disengaged with that, and same with the equalizer slow. The Yams pretty safe when it comes to team fighting.
And we talked a lot about Janna's disengage, but as we can see in this game, Thresh is showing that, hey, don't forget about me. I can still put out enough slows, stuns to make sure my team stays safe too.
Yeah, it's definitely not looking good. Thresh 3-0-6, having all the money a support could ever dream of. Definitely showing in his items, already finishing that that bulwark. Sidestone, opting out for that that Negatron cloak, and Janna not even finished her boots yet. Never mind her talisman.
And something that I'm really happy about, so stoked, Jarvan has a locket. He recognizes the double AP comp, picks up the locket.
And which, you know, a lot of junglers, knowing that their team has had great Shockwave and Cataclysm combo, will pick up the kill on that mid laner. Isaac does go down, Digger's man drop, and TP from Libon Jack does come, but I don't think it's going to be enough. They will be able to disengage, and that is a free kill for Yams.
Free kill, teleport wasted, and Vayne gets bottom tower.
Yeah, they have no answer. The VK squad getting pulled around, and they just don't have enough resources. And they're slowly just bleeding towers. But as I was saying before, sorry to cut you off, with your team ahead, a lot of junglers would just opt for damage. But definitely good play by Jarvan, knowing that AP champions can scale quite well, and picks up that locket just for security and for his team. Yep.
I was gonna say, this is one of the most frustrating games to be playing in. For BK. It's basically, there's nothing you can do. You're trying to react, you're trying to make plays, but there's just, you can't match the Vayne in the split. And right now in team fights, Salted Yams are just executing all either their picks or their disengage. So it's just such a frustrating game for BK right now.
Yeah. And as you can see, Yams are sticking together. You know, if Vayne is split pushing, they're sticking together as 4 because they know that if they get caught, VK still has the damage to 100 to 0 somebody with their pick. Again, defensive wards going down for VK. They don't even own their jungle anymore. regardless. Salted Yams just having their way. Great Cataclysm, Equalizer combo, Hook lands, taking Baylife out of the fight. Mavdok getting exhausted, but it doesn't really matter. Damien doing all the damage with that Flame Spitter. Shockwave will pick up the kill. And that is a 4-for-1 trade. And has to be an inhib tower. They're not done yet.
That's a surrender.
But a surrender coming out from VK. They know they couldn't really do very much, and the game was lost.